Hey everybody, it's Peter Vexelman, and it's Tuesday Night Live. I'm coming to you here from Atlanta, Georgia. Um, Kind of sort of rainy, not really raining yet, but actually, after I'm done here with you all, um, and by the way, you all, I want to welcome you guys. It's exciting. But after I'm done here tonight, the plan was to pop over outside here, hit the belt line, and walk for probably about a couple miles to this place called Piedmont Park. And I tell you this story because this morning when I was working out, I kind of have this routine. And by the way, this is not the meat of what we're going to talk about. But for those of you that dial in on a regular basis, we want to give you all a couple minutes to dial in and ready yourself. So while we're doing that, sometimes I like to share a story or two. So anyway, this morning I have kind of a routine when I stay here in town. Uh, get up, uh, do a couple hours of work. Usually for those of you that again follow me know I'm an early riser. I think I was up by 4:30 today. I like to do a couple hours worth of work, and then I like to jump on my bike and I bike over to the gym. And then when I'm done with the gym, I just grab my phone, which is always with me, and I just make calls, but I ride the bike, because that's a good way for me. The gym, you get the weights, the bike, you get the cardio, and so I ride around for sometimes 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes longer, just get caught up on all my calls that morning. And so this morning, I rode from the gym to this place that we want to walk to tonight called Ponce Market. And as I get to Ponce, and I understand Ponce, not Ponce Market, Piedmont Park. I understand Piedmont Park is a big, big area. I mean, it's the kind of area you can have, you can have soccer games going on, a football game going on, people sun tanning. It's just huge, and you wouldn't even be crowded. And I get to Piedmont Park, and it's like cops everywhere. And I love to ride through the park. It's just a great natural area, and there's like barriers everywhere. And so I couldn't really get inside the park. I was riding around the park on my bike, and then I look over and I see this like humongous like stage being built. And Piedmont Park has hosted concerts before. Um, but this is like I look over to my right, and this thing is just a monster stage. It's the kind of stage that you would see like a top band come to, not like a local band or a regional band. This is the kind of stage that top of the line bands would come to. And I go a little bit further, and I see another stage kind of being built, and I'm just like, what is going on here? And it's like it's only Tuesday. They really don't have big events till weekend, and usually they set up like Thursday or Friday, and this has already been, you could tell the way the action thing was going, this was probably already being this was already being worked on for a day or two. And then as I'm driving past Piedmont Park, I happen to glance over one more time, and there they've actually did a makeshift entrance, and on the entrance it says uh, whatever, Music Fest. And then it hit me. I'm like, oh my God, like we're going there this weekend. We're going to go there. Rafa and Chelsea are going to go there. We're going to meet one of our suppliers there. I'm like, oh wow, this is going to be a pretty cool event. And I'm kind of off on a tangent now, but again, just taking a couple minutes while everyone's dialing in. Um, yeah, this weekend we're going to hang out there, and it's just a festival. I've never been there, but ever since I've been in Atlanta, which is 20 some years, I've heard so much about it. I've heard people having amazing times there, and it's literally like a bunch of bands going there, and it's going to be just a fun hangout time. Um, and anyway, I don't know. Oh, that was my point. So after the webinar tonight, the game plan was to um, jump over there on the belt line and do a couple mile walk, check out what kind of progress they made there. So, well, listen, I appreciate you all dialing in. Although Julie's not here tonight, I know one of the things Julie loves to say is, as you're dialing in, let us know where you're dialing in from. So, let me know where you're dialing in from. I can't say I know how to read it. You think by now I'd figure it out. But yeah, if you don't mind, just kind of type in where you're dialing in from and all that. Love to hear that. And I am glad you guys are dialing in. I know it's Tuesday, um, uh, in the middle of a summer. I mean, these are, any way you look at it, these are slow times. And I was just reading an article somewhere. Oh no, I was listening to a podcast, and they say as it relates to times like this summer, these summer times for many businesses, these are the slowest times of the year for obvious reasons. People go on vacation, school's getting started, so people sometimes have these other things they have to do with their kids at night. Um, some sports teams seasons get started, so now you're competing against that. And it said, in our industry, that these really tend to be the absolute slowest times of the year. They rival like Christmas and New Year's time. And I say this to say, for those of you that are dialing in, welcome. That's awesome. I'm sure everyone's got a potential reason not to be here. I'm sure there's other things you could be doing. But this is really cool. To me, these Tuesday nights are really cool because I could tell you, our partners and people we're doing deals that have been doing that, we're in the middle of doing deals or have been doing deals for quite a bit. I can tell you the one thing almost so many of them have in common is when they really got to know us was through these Tuesday night webinars. So that's really cool. I mean, that just shows me, for those of you that are on here, that you're serious, you're committed, you're savvy enough to know what you need to be doing. And like I said, to me, that's really awesome. All right, guys. So I like to start out these Tuesday nights basically the same way, and that's to share with y'all why we even do these. I mean, I promise you, I have no problem right now jumping in a belt line and heading over to Piedmont Park. I mean, there's things, just like I just said, there's things that you could be doing, I'm sure. There's things I could be doing that other than these Tuesday night webinars. But we're committed to these. I mean, we're really passionate about them. We've been doing them forever and ever and ever. And sometimes it's Julie and I, sometimes it's myself, sometimes it's Julie. We're just committed. And because we know there's really two types of audiences that listen to us these Tuesday nights. One type of audience, and I think if you're listening to whether in a live environment today or in a recorded sometime down the road, I think you will fall into one of these two categories. Number one, some of you guys are already our partners. You may be just gotten started with us. You may have been with us for a little while. We may be on our way to doing our first deal. We may be done a ton of deals. But you're already part of what we call our community and our world. And you're here, the same reason I used to be at these things 20-some years ago. You just, this is another way for you to connect with us. Obviously as a partner, you have the ability to connect with us literally on a daily basis. You have the ability to communicate with us, get incredible, mentoring, coaching from us, lead development, money, all that kind of stuff. But you know what? You're like I was 20 years ago. I just needed more. I mean, I was just like, I needed to be, and especially as I started kind of aligning myself with the right people 20 years ago, I needed to be around them more and more. And any chance I had to get around people whose pathway I was sort of following, I did. I mean, I remember sometimes tagging along with my pseudo mentors here in Atlanta market. I mean, I remember sometimes being like with them going over stuff or talking. And I remember this one instance where the guy was with, like, we talked about some business, and then he's like, "Oh man, I got to go to lunch." And he was going with another developer. It was one of my mentors back then. And I'm like, "Hey, Barton, you mind if I tag along? I just want to listen." And I did. And I tagged along, and Barton took me to lunch with him and his buddy. And I just sat there. I mean, I don't think I contributed other than saying hello and maybe a 10-second dissertation, of how miserably I was failing in real estate back then, but that was it. But man, I just got along, and so for some of y'all that are already in our world to an extent, this is just another extension of you being in our world. This is a way for you to connect with us, learn from us, get mentored by us, and all that. And you know what? We appreciate it. I love it. Been there, done that. And like I said, whatever we could do to keep on providing you content, we're all about that. Now, the second type of individual listening to us tonight is you're not yet part of our world, but you're seriously want to do it. I think, you're checking us out, as I call it. You to a certain degree understand what it is to partner with us. You to a certain degree, some of you on the front end, some of you on a larger end, but you're basically you're learning from us. You're getting taught by us. But the bottom line is you just need to kind of what I call make that decision. Okay, you got to make a decision about us. And so you're using these Tuesday nights as a way to get comfortable. Do we actually know what the heck we're talking about? You're using these Tuesday nights is a way to figure out, are we somebody you want to even be around? Do you feel comfortable with us? Do you feel like we have a good connection for you and your business? Some of you guys just literally want to feel the legitimacy of this whole thing. You might have seen in myself or somebody in our team on the internet. You might be following us through social media, but you're like, well, is this whole thing legit? I mean, is this just Peter and Julie knocking out a bunch of videos, throwing them on the internet, and those videos could be scripted as far as right? So you want to just see us, off the cuff, or do we sound legit in all this? And so that second group of people, you're not quite in our world. You're checking us out. And I'll be honest with you, for those of you that fall into the second group, our mission here for Tuesday nights as it relates to you specifically is we do want to teach, we do want to educate, but we also want to be realistic with you guys. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I'm going to teach you something tonight that's going to make the waters part and you become a multimillionaire, because that's really not what real estate is. There is plenty of sources to learn, to study, to read, to listen to. And, you're just not going to hear too many real estate success stories that said, well, I read this book here and now, look at me a couple years down the road, I'm full of riches and all that. In real estate, it's more than just knowing something. It's doing something. And this is where the problem comes in, why most people never really make it in this business, because the knowledge side has very little correlation to the actual application side. And so when people try to go out there and take their knowledge and start applying, if they ever do, this is when, as they say, crap hits the fan. And so this is why we feel like in our partnering program, in my opinion, it's if you want to be in real estate, I can't think of a better way of doing it. Because what happens when you're a partner of ours, you get coached and mentored by us. You get lead generation from us that we pay for, by the way. I provide 100% of the capital to execute the deals. Our construction team helps you locally there fix those properties. Then we sell them, we split the profits. And I feel like if real estate is where you want to be, you couldn't figure out a better way of doing it. And so for those of you that are not yet our partners, whether sometime today during this next couple of minutes of me talking about the topic, or later on, just visit our website where you can learn more about how to become a partner at www.partnerdriven.com. That's www.partnerdriven.com. I'm sure it'll be somewhere on your screen here. And there you learn what our partnership program is all about. If you love it the way we think you're going to love it, put your information in there. A member of our team or our staff will touch base with you, and before you know it, literally, we could be working on deals right in your area. So, all right, so those are the basics out of the way, guys. I want to hit the topic today, and it's funny. I say we want to be transparent in these, and we do want to be transparent. I want to be very, very transparent with you guys. And the way our system works here is very simple. Usually every Tuesday morning, we get a text from Rafa, and a text says something like this. Well, I didn't save it, but it usually says, hey, it's Tuesday night. I need a topic for the webinar. And when I texted him the topic today, when I texted Rafa the topic today, he texted back to me, HMMMMM, basically, And I know him well enough that was like him saying, not seeing it. And I said, just do it. I know what I'm running with this thing. And I'll tell you, I think what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, I want to talk to you guys about a 75-foot yacht. I want to talk to you about an amazing partner. I want to give you some incentive. But guys, what I'm going to talk to you about today is a topic that if you follow me, you know I'm a huge believer in this topic. And I could tell you what I'm going to talk to you guys about today is something that is absolutely critical in this business that across the board, possibly even me, but across the board, most investors do not do enough of. But it's something that is so vital to your business, so critical to your business, that I could tell you, it literally, I think, prevents so many investors from not only building this business, but once they start building this business, not advancing it to the level they want. And let me tell you, let me start out with a story, guys. And by the way, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you a little bit more details here in a minute. But I want to do more weekends like this past weekend. And tonight, I'm also going to tell you how you and I can jump on a private yacht like that for a weekend and have some amazing times together. But let me tell you a sideline story as it relates to this. And I've seen this study, because this study that I'm going to share with you is not one study. This is multiple studies that have studied this, and they all come to the same conclusion. And here's what the studies, they're really made for employers. And the studies are very simple. As an employer, which I am, which every one of you is, if you're in this business, you're employing somebody. You might not be paying payroll, but you got a closing attorney. You might have a construction person. You know, employment comes in different, facets. So we're all employers here. That's one thing we have in common. But the study is this, as an employer, what should I focus on as it relates to the people that work with me or for me? Okay, what is the one thing that drives them? And these studies are very interesting because, like I said, they all come to the same conclusion. And here's the premise usually. Here's what most people think. What drives employees or what drives people around you? So people think, well, money. It's got to be money. How much money you pay them? It's not it. Some people think it's maybe vacation time, And so there's some obvious things that come to mind. But interestingly enough, the number one thing that drives employees across the board in all of these studies is, believe it or not, if you don't know this, this is going to be a shocker to you as it was to me. It's actually recognition. Recognition is something that is absolutely critical that people that work with you need. And I could tell you, recognition is something that none of us, when it comes to people that we work with, do enough of. Okay. So, sometimes, you try to figure things out. You look at your business model and you're trying to figure out what more do I need? Like, do I need another employer? Do I need a different contractor? Do I need another money person? And we kind of go through these things. And what so many of us don't realize is that you have what you need. You're not just getting out of them what you could be getting out of them. And because you're not getting out of them what you need to be getting out of them, you're not identifying the problem correctly. And so this is where people get in trouble. They're like, oh, I need another this person. I need another that person. Obviously there's some natural growth within business that does require more people. But I'm going to tell you right now, this is one thing I learned. It's like there's this philosophy in the marketing business that it's easier to keep a client than to gain a client. Same thing with people that work with you. It's a lot easier that once you find the right person to get more out of them than to constantly be adding somebody else, somebody else, somebody else, somebody else, somebody else. And one of the ways you do this, or one of the ways so many of us don't do this, is through recognition. Okay. So now let's go back to this weekend. This is, as I kind of, laid out the stage for you, as I've kind of laid out what I want to talk about today. I want to talk to you about my past weekend and basically what it looked like. And it was done in a really cool way because, for some of you that follow us, you guys know that I try to showcase, we don't always do it. Some of our partners don't want to be showcased, at the bottom line, but there's some partners that love it, and that helps us tremendously in all of this. So for those of you that follow us through social media, you hear every once in a while, let's bring up a name. His name is Seth Cho. And Seth's he's a killer partner. I mean, that's just the best way to describe it. I mean, the guy has it going on. And literally for like last year, and we've done well over 100 deals, made a tremendous amount of money. I mean, it's a no-brainer that our partnership works, from every aspect, relationship, synergy, deals, and all this. So, but literally, like, I don't save my text messages, but like literally, if you were to go back in my text when it comes to Seth, like every month to month and a half, I'd send Seth a text. Hey, dude, let's go do a weekend together somewhere. Okay. And he'd be like, oh, I can't. I got whatever. And then I'd be like looking on social media, and he's in Hawaii. I'd be looking on social media. He's, hiking the Appalachian Trail. I look at social media. He's in San Francisco. I'm like, Seth, I don't understand, man. I've been asking you to go somewhere, and you're always busy. But then you and your wife, Bree, you guys are always traveling somewhere, you guys. So it kind of became a joke, and it wasn't in a bad way, but I always would kid around with him. I'm like, Seth. And so, but how this whole thing happened was that Seth also has an amazing, like when I say amazing, I mean amazing contractor that works for him. His name's Roger. And Roger is like, I could sit here and talk to you for an hour about why Roger's a good contractor. But all I'm just going to give you a couple highlights, and you'll know right away. Number one, Roger never asks for a draw, ever. He doesn't want to get paid up front. He doesn't want to get paid in the middle. He wants to get paid when the job's signed, sealed, and delivered. And, our average job size in the market Seth's in is about 50 to 60,000. So these are not like $2,000-$3,000 jobs. These are like, and we have always, a minimum of 10 to 15 of them going on. So you can imagine the kind of money somebody would need to have to keep that going. Roger never asked for a draw. Roger's never complained during inspections when things are found, because let me tell you something, there's never been an inspection in the United States, especially on a rehab, where an inspector didn't find something. So whenever Roger fixes them, inspectors go in for our buyers. They always find a number of things to do. That list gets forwarded to Roger. Roger not only fixes it, but he picks up the cost of it. Isn't that pretty amazing? Try telling your contractor after renovation, hey, here's a list of 30 things or 20 things. You watch how they hit you with money. Roger has never asked for money during those things. Roger's never complained. Roger has also never said no. A lot of contractors basically put their back against the wall. They over leverage, they over promise, they over this, they over that. Roger's never done that. Roger, everything we've ever asked him to do, he's just been point on. So I figured out finally how to get Seth to go with me somewhere. I heard Roger wanted to meet me, and I've never even talked to Roger since he's been with us. We've been doing deals for a number of years now. Yeah, I hear his name all the time. So I heard, because Julie went to visit Seth, I heard Roger wanted to meet me. So finally, I'm like, okay, I get it, how I got to get Seth. So I call Seth. I'm like, dude, we got to do this for Roger. Roger wants to get together. This will be a great thing. So one thing led to another. We set up this weekend, okay? And so it was Roger and Seth. They get into, we all meet in South Beach. And I'm like, we got to make this special. So I chartered a 75-foot boat. And I can tell you, as we pull up, they drive us to this boat. They pick us up in cars and they drive us to these boats. And for those of you that have ever done any kind of boating before, like your own boating, usually you drive, you get your stuff out, you load it up, you haul it to your boat, you carry it in, you make sure. No, when you're in a 75-foot private charter, none of that happens. They pick you up in the car, they take your stuff, if you ever want to bring stuff with you. They drive the boat, they drive you right up to the boat, and there's already people on the boat waiting for you. You don't carry any stuff inside. As you step up on, usually when you step on your own boat, you're trying to figure out what needs to be clean, what got dirty, hopefully it's working. When you step foot on a 55-foot yacht, they welcome you aboard, they shake your hands, they introduce themselves, they already know your name. They are very quickly getting everything ready. They're getting the champagne out, they're getting the drinks out, they're getting the trays out. I mean, it's all laid out. And what's the first thing you want to do when you get on a yacht like that? You want to look around, right? And literally, as we're all just kind of bumming around, looking around, 4 staterooms downstairs, things are happening around us. I mean, these guys are getting ready. They're getting the boat ready, and you do nothing. You do nothing other than enjoy. Within 40 seconds of being on that boat, they bring you drinks, so you're walking around with a drink in your hand, and it's really cool. This is kind of one of those goofy things, but I think a lot of you could relate. When you're standing in a boat like that, when we're docked right at the Premier Hotel in South Beach, there's a lot of people, and this is kind of a sideline note. Pretty cool. People are like staring at you. They're like, you're sitting on this yacht, bumming around, and they bring all your stuff on board, bring everything that you wanted and needed for the charter. It all gets laid out for you, gets unpacked for you, and then before you know it, I was literally on the. It's so funny. I was literally doing a video on the boat, and I'm walking kind of on the left side of it. And I was literally in the middle of saying, man, I can't wait till we move. And next thing I know, this boat is just like, starts moving. And the cool thing is the whole trip was laid out for us ahead of time. First, what did we wanted to do? Obviously we wanted to see Miami, wanted to see South Beach. We wanted to dock. It's got jet skis on it. It's got floaties on it that they get blown up. We let them know we want to do that. We wanted to go by, I think it's called Star Island, with some amazing architecture there and all that. So the trip was kind of laid out for us, and we were part of planning. And then we just go. And I remember initially when we went, I kind of, it was with Roger. I sat kind of in the front of the boat, and Roger and I just talked, and the only thing I really talked to Roger about as we're going out for the first probably 30 to 40 minutes, told him how much I appreciated him. I just said, Rod, and he knows that. I mean, whenever he asked for his final draw, the money's always there within 24 hours. I mean, I think what we've done, but it's not like I ever had this chance to really tell him that. And I'm just sitting here talking for 30, 40 minutes. And that's all I was just telling how appreciative, we are of him, what this relationship means to us. We weren't really talking about necessarily construction, because I don't know anything about construction, so there'd be no value in talking to me about construction. We're just talking like two dudes, and no real agenda other than I just really wanted him to know that, Roger, what you're doing is something really, really special. And we did that for about 30 to 40 minutes, and it's like we connected. We literally connected. But also during that time, he was able to tell me what he's all about, what drives him in this business, what are the important things to him, what are the important things for him in life, where he sees himself going. So that was a lot of very key information to me. But the bottom line is there was no question that when just that initial conversation got done, I could tell you for sure that I felt as good as I felt about Roger, I felt 10 times better about about him. And I think as good as do for us, for our business, really appreciate what our partnership means and all this. And I could tell as we left during this week, and we just got back yesterday. It's Tuesday night. Got back late Monday night, and in the texts that uh, I got in as we flew back in here, were just that. We're just like, hey, thanks. This meant the world. Really appreciate it. But during that weekend, during this past weekend, we're also able to set some amazing goals. We're also able to make some incredible commitments. We're also be able to talk to, what, we need to do these trips more often, but let's challenge ourselves that each trip is going to be bigger, better. How do you top a 75-foot yacht? There's not too many ways of doing it, but there are ways of doing it. And so we kind of made pseudo plans for our next one coming up. But guess what? This is why recognition is so important. Now, look, I'm not sitting here and telling you guys you need to get a 75-foot yacht for the contractor that's done one job for you. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I am talking about is these relationships need to be nurtured in this business. I could tell you real estate is one of those few businesses, maybe not one of the few, but it is definitely a business where you're so heavily relying upon other people's efforts. Like for instance, again, I'll use my favorite example. I always use dry cleaners. Well, if you're a dry cleaner, what do you got? You got yourself, maybe you got your couple workers, and then really it's just, you got to hustle. It's usually a pretty small operation and all this. But you do it all, right? Not real estate. I mean, real estate is literally a business where I don't care at what stage of the career you're in, just beginning, intermediate, or a high level like us. You're so heavily relied upon other people. And sometimes our attitudes towards these people, and when I say attitudes, I don't mean you have a bad attitude, but you might not have any attitude. You might, the people that are working for you, for people that are out there, putting their guts out there, putting their name in the line because of trying to help you or trying to do something with and for you, they need to hear this kind of stuff. They need to know that they're valuable. They need to know that you appreciate them. They need to feel like that they do contribute to the organization, no matter how small your organization is. So again, this is what happens a lot of times. Good things start happening to you, usually not necessarily because of you, but because you happen to run into the right people, right? You start aligning yourself correctly with some individuals, and things start going pretty well. You misread that pretty well, thinking it's you do this and you do that, where in reality it is some of you, but it's also a big part of them. You get bogged down in the details, so you focus more on you, which you think you should be doing. You focus more on the business, which you think you should be doing. Yet you got these people here who are absolutely critical, who are absolutely valuable, who are absolutely in it to win with you. And I'm going to tell you right now, and if you start forgetting about them, if you start making them feel like, they're just whatever, their ability to do things in this business, like a super contractor, a great attorney, a great real estate agent, maybe you got a super duper negotiator, that ability will shine through to someone. It will shine through to someone. And before you know it, their level of performance may start going down because they subconsciously don't feel like you're appreciating them. Next thing you know, somebody finds out about their skill set. So now all of a sudden they start going after your people. And all of a sudden your business starts suffering. and you can't figure out what's going on. And I could tell you a lot of times is because your people, and we all have people, right? We just established that it's a business of people, is because your people start basically going downhill to some degree. And you can't figure out. You're like, well, he's been doing the same thing ever and ever for me, so that can't be the problem. Yeah, he's been doing the same thing ever and ever for you, but because he feels unappreciated, because he feels this and that, his motivation level goes down, which affects your skill level, which affects performance level, which affects bottom line. So the way you handle this is this. Figure out who the people are in your business that are helping you to whatever degree, whatever level. You know what they are. Again, you may be in the very forefront of this business, and you might only have literally like one person you could pinpoint. I'll tell you who that was for me when I got started. There was and it was just like somebody you wouldn't even think about, right? But there was a wholesaler here in Atlanta who I just started building a relationship with and a great friendship. His name was Steve. And Steve started like doing some really cool stuff for me. Like started giving me his properties before anyone else got them. Started giving me some information about some other deals and all this, And and literally, I remember about 8 years down the road talking to Steve one night, and we were just talking about kind of, how we hit it off and all this. And we were sitting in a bar, and Steve made a point. This is why I did what I did, dude, because you and I built a friendship along the way. This is why I gave you inside properties, not inside, but gave you first look to properties. This is why I connected you. Because in essence, what Steve was saying wasn't because of this incredible skill set I had in the beginning, which I didn't. It's because he felt pretty good about me and around me. And because of that in turn tremendously propelled my business. So, you hear, excuse me, you hear us talk about it so often here. It's a relationship business. You hear us talk so often how to even develop these relationships, because there's actually ways of building relationships in this business. There's strategies and techniques, and I've talked a ton about it. But what we probably don't do enough of corporately is we don't tell you the value of keeping those relationships. I could tell you how to build a list of 100 investors like that. Literally within 4 hours, I can get 100 investors on your database, whether they become your cash buyers or whatever they become, money people, whatever, right? And I know I'm to blame about this myself, because many times I'll end the conversation right there. Here's how you develop these relationships, right? But guys, I'm telling you, it's about keeping them. And how you keep them is you got to be able to show people that you really give a darn, that you really do appreciate them, that, you're really in it for a long haul, that you do value what they do. And again, guys, I'm not saying under any circumstances, here's what I don't want anyone to do today. I don't want anybody to listen to this tonight and then get on a website and order a 75-foot yacht. Okay. It's not what I'm saying. But you know what? It could be a silly, this was also a topic we had even this weekend about this appreciation. Could be a Starbucks gift card. I mean, next time you're in Starbucks, buy a gift card, $5, $10, $15 gift card, and you'll be shocked to see how far that goes. One of the things I have in my office is I have postcards. And so a lot of times when I'll do something or meet someone or whatever, somebody will do something good, I'll just take out the postcard and I'll personally write them just a little thank you note. Hey, thanks. That was really cool. Appreciate the meeting. Appreciate the opportunity. Appreciate you thinking about me. And I'm telling you, this kind of stuff, just like I said, a lack of appreciation can get a lack of attention, can get lack of motivation, lack of momentum, lack of productivity. Bottom line goes down. But doing all those things, the appreciation and all this, could actually squeeze more out of your people too. Could absolutely 100% squeeze more out of them. So this is why, when we started today, I said it's a lot easier to keep a client. than to get a client. It's also a lot easier to get a good person to get better than to start from zero to find somebody at a high level, right? It's like, that exercise when you reach up as high as you can and then reach just a little bit higher. And it's amazing that you could do it. See, we all have that more in us. And so, how do you get that more out of everyone? Sure, you want to teach them, you want to educate them, you want to train them, you want them to be in the forefront of the industry they're in, you want them to be in the forefront of the skill set they're in. But I'm going to tell you right now, appreciation works as much and just as powerfully as all those things. And appreciation really doesn't cost anything. Again, don't think about my example this weekend. Obviously I'm been doing this for a while and we're able to show it in different ways. But you get more out of somebody by showing them how important they are to you, by making them feel like they're part of the team, part of their organization. So again, organizationally, go back in your world, your real estate investing world, and figure out who are these people? Who are these people that are really going a little bit above and beyond? Look, you may be at the point where you may not have anyone like that. I mean, honestly, you may look at your organization and say, well, gosh, I don't have anyone like that. Well, guess what? That says a lot about you too. If you don't have anyone you can count on, if you don't have anyone with some kind of a skill set that's worth appreciating, maybe you have the wrong people. Maybe the right people don't want to, be around you. But the good thing is now you know what to look out for, right? Now you understand that ability to connect with somebody at friendship level, not just a business level, not just at a real estate level, but just a friendship. For those of you that have been on here the whole night, where did I start out talking 45 minutes about? Me taking a bike ride to Piedmont Park, seeing the stage goes up. For what? So we and Rafa and Chelsea and maybe some other people this weekend can go to Music Midtown. We're probably not going to be discussing too many technical things there. I doubt it. We'll probably talk some business, but really, what are we all doing there? We're investing in a relationship around something fun and exciting, right? We're showing appreciation to each other. It just should happen normally, right? It should happen automatically. You should not say, well, I'm all business here from 8 to 5, and from 5 to 10, I'm all about fun. And guess what? The two never intersect. The same people don't come into this, this world doesn't cross into this world, and this world doesn't cross. BS, total BS. These people, if you're a fun dude, should be part of your little fun. If you're not a fun dude, but you're just, there's 20,000 other ways of showing appreciation. Like I said, could be a gift certificate. You might be just taking them out to dinner. Again, remember, appreciation is not tied in to dollar amount. Appreciation is tied in to time and what's done with that time. Okay? That's really what it comes down to. I mean, it could be nothing more than you have a contractor that darn well is going above and beyond. You got that one guy that's bending over backwards for you. You got that one realtor that is just like working day and night, and you still haven't bought a property from them, right? Tonight, get on the phone with them. Tell them how much you appreciate it. Bob, man, I know you stay up every night looking for something for me. Steve, I know those construction jobs aren't easy and they're not in the best areas. Just tell them, hey, I got you. I know it and I appreciate it. Sometimes appreciation just needs to start and stop right there. All right? Sometimes you have to take it a little bit higher level, like what I did with Seth and Roger this weekend. But guess what? That's hundreds of deals into this process. Tremendous amount of upside. And guess what? When that happens, you do some bigger and better things. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. And that's something each and every one of us can take an action step on today. And that's what you want to do. You literally want to take an action step on it today. I also told you, I'm going to tell you tonight how anybody on this call can jump on a yacht like that with me. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to timestamp this. These get recorded. These get put out there into the universe, but they're all time stamped. So it's very simple. For those of you that are partners, or those of you that are about ready to be our partners, okay? Very simple. When you and I, from this moment on, do 15 deals together, okay? Remember, it's time stamped, so you'll have to, and we track all our deals. They have to be partner deals, right? When we do 15 deals together, we're going to jump on the boat like that and go around South Beach together. And we have an amazing time. 15 deals. A, think how much money you'll make along the way, right? B, think about how much different your life's going to be 15 deals into this thing. And C, I promise you, when we jump on that yacht, you'll elevate your game because you'll see what's possible. You'll see like, wow, I could live like this. Yeah, you bet. There's people that do that stuff every single day, like literally every single day. So 15 deals from today on, partner deals, which means if you're not a partner yet, you need to join immediately. And if you already are a partner, you need to elevate your game, right? And you know who those people are too. And we're jumping in a boat. And I promise you, it's going to be an amazing ride. So guys, that's all I got for you tonight. Remember, if you're not a partner yet, we're looking for more people to do real estate deals with. When you are a partner, myself, my staff, literally on a daily basis, we coach and mentor you, which means you yourself become a very savvy investor. Next, we generate leads for you right there where you live, and I pay for it. Things like skip tracing and things like that. Next, I provide all the capital to do the deals. I provide all the capital to fix them. My construction outfit actually helps in the fixing of the properties. Then we sell them, we split the profits down the middle, 50-50. And that, my friend, is the ultimate way of doing real estate. And if you agree, then you need to check us out further at www.partnerdriven.com. You could see some of our partners there. You'll even see, I think Seth's on that. He might not be, but I'm pretty sure we have maybe one video with him on that site. So you'll be able to see just who this kid is that I was talking about tonight. Check it out. Put your information in there. Before you know it, we may be doing deals. Guys, as always, I loved it. I enjoyed it. See you next time, same place next week.